Thank you, everybody, and as always, thank you to the essential workers that have come to work every day, doing their job day in and day out, 7 days a week, around the clock. We couldn't get through this without you. And to the non-essential workers that start to come back for phase 3, which will be eased in over the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we're stacking people and making sure we do social distancing in the workplace. Thank you also. We can't do this without you, and I've said this before, but as of today, we have 1,841 positive cases of the coronavirus, up 4 from yesterday, which was good. Yesterday was 7, today's 4, which is good. We have 170 people under mandatory quarantine, that's down 3. And we have 1 person under precautionary quarantine, which stays the same at 1. We have 552 people have completed quarantine, and out of all those, 1,788 tested positive for the virus. 13 recovered as of yesterday, which is good news too, also going forward. We have 8 people in the hospital who've been hospitalized. That's up 1 from yesterday. For a hospitalization rate of 0.43%, and yesterday's rate was 0.38%. So slightly go up a little bit, but we've had 0 people in ICU now for 8 days, which is good. So our ICU and our hospital's beds, have been staying pretty good for the last 8 days, which is good. All good news. So people are doing the right thing, and I say thank you. People are listening. They're wearing masks out in public. I was out and about yesterday, and I stopped at a couple places, and I got to say, other than maybe 1 or 2 people, everyone had a mask on. I know it's tough. I know a lot of people don't like it. I knew it's the new norm for a while. But again, it not only just protects you, but it protects the people around you. And it stops the spread. So again, by wearing the mask, coughing into your arm, and cleaning your hands is doing its job. Also, I want to remind people, please, if you have any signs or symptoms, get out and get tested. We have the testing site at the Seth Q Arena for essential employees for the antibody testing. We have the drive-through. We have the mobile testing sites. We have the Rite Aid, and I continue bringing up in our partnership with Priority 1 in Gilliland. Please, the numbers. Reach out. Get tested tomorrow, or actually I was going to say tomorrow because today is Thursday. So today we're doing the testing at the Times Union Center. That's on today from 9:30 to 1, I believe. So, which is good. So please feel free for the non-essential employees that are now back to the workplace and you want to get tested because you've been home for the last almost 15 weeks doing the right thing. Thank you, and please, by all means, go and get tested. So people that need to pick up hand sanitizer, you can go down Market Street in the back of the Times Union loading dock. You can get it. I know Sheriff Apple's putting it out there through his EOC. I know legislators are doing the same thing. I know everyone's out there trying to be a partner with the community, so it's great. So please continue. If you need that, it's there for you, and please, by all means, and it's free. So, with that being said, tomorrow is an important day. On June 19, 1865, Union soldiers reached Texas to announce that the Civil War had officially ended and that slaves were free. This, of course, was more than 2 years after the proclamation had already been signed by President Lincoln. Only then it could be enforced. It not only celebrates the end of slavery in the United States, but it also is a day to recognize the sacrifices and achievements of African Americans and their countless contributions to this country. Just as we recognize Independence Day and honor freedom and liberty of Americans fought for, we must also recognize the true beginning of freedom and liberty of African Americans. Now more than ever, we must recognize the systemic racism, inequality, and equity are simply the modern ills of our social, and that can be traced back to the evils of slavery. And just as it was a long road to Texas in 1865, it was a long road to Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, and nearly a century later. And it will still have a long road ahead of us to fully fulfill the inequality and quality of our people, no matter the color of their skin. So because of that, I'm going to sign an executive order making Juneteenth an official holiday for county employees. For those who are required to report to work, they will get a floating holiday and they can use later. So all the union workers and essential workers that need to be here, the police, the jail, the nursing home, and other essential services, mental health and health, you'll get a floating holiday. I commend the governor for making it a state holiday, and I urge Congress and the president to step up and do the same. And I've been in constant contact with Legislator Bill Clay, chair of the Albany County Legislative Caucus, and he could not be here today, but he shared this comment with us. June 19th has been an important day that African Americans have celebrated for 155 years. It's a day that celebrates our freedom that the founding fathers of this country have celebrated on July 4th for over 240 years. Declaring Juneteenth as a holiday in Albany County has been a long time in coming, but I commend County Executive McCoy and our county for recognizing the significance of this day. So, Bill, thank you for your kind words. Thank you to the Black Caucus for working with me on this. And Wanda Willingham, the county legislator, was going to be here today, but she must be running late, so if she does show up, I'll have Wanda speak. But again, we have a lot to move forward with. We have a lot to build off of, but we need to continue to change. We need to understand all sides of this issue, and hopefully doing this brings us in the right direction of moving forward, of saying, hey, look, we have to remember our bad history as well as the good history of this foundation of this country. And the only way we're going to do that and move forward and not make the same mistakes is educating people and talking about this. So it is an honor today to sign this. I wish Bill Clay could have been here, and I wish the Black Caucus could have been here, and I wish Wanda Willingham was here. But if she does get here, we'll have her speak. But I do want to say that it's something that has been long overdue, and I am hoping the President and Congress and Senate do the same thing and take the lead of our Governor Cuomo here. Again, there's other states in this nation that have been celebrating this for years. So this is long overdue. And I want to say to the peaceful protesters and to the people with their voices out in the community, it is working. It is working. And follow the teachings of Dr. Martin Luther King. Peaceful protests can get a lot done. And you're getting your message and it's being heard. So again, this is a great moment here for Albany County and the state of New York. So now that we're in the phase 3 and phase 4 is just around the corner, and I know everyone's excited to get back to somewhat of a norm, many people have talked about summer camps, and the governor announced summer day camps could open on June 29th, and trust me, it was welcome news for a lot of parents that had been home with their children for the last 15 weeks, and being a teacher, being a parent, and trying to work with everybody. I think they're ready to part ways with their children for a little while and get some normalcy themselves. But who better to talk about this than Dave Brown, the president and CEO of the Capital District YMCA, to talk about what that means for the Y in the summer programs and hundreds of kids that go to summer camps in the summer, and especially these after-school programs and everything else, because the YMCA is a huge fabric of our community. They've done great things over the years, and Dave, thank you for your leadership, for you and your team. But most importantly, if they don't do what they do, a lot of people can't go to work. They have issues with childcare. They have issues with summer camps, and now with the way the new norm is, and thank goodness we can open up these camps. If you could talk about it, we've gotten a lot of questions on it. I'm not the expert, so I figured who better than to bring in but the person that is the expert on this. So Dave, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me this morning, and I really want to first congratulate you on signing that order. I think that's fantastic, and I also want to thank you for your leadership of the county during this difficult time. So I appreciate being invited here today. We're excited that Phase 4 is coming up here soon, and we're really excited about us opening up our camps. We're going to be opening up 5 of our locations for camp. We're calling it Summer Cares because it's going to be a little bit different than our normal camps that we've done in the past, because we do have to make sure that we have social distancing, staff wearing masks. But it's still going to be lots of fun. It's still going to be lots of positive activities for our youth. There will be, archery, Lego camp. There'll be elements where we do the high ropes and low rope elements for outdoor adventure. Archery is one of the big things that kids like doing when they come to our camp. So we have all of those fun activities, STEM activities as well. The great news is that our policy is that we turn no one away due to their inability to pay. So if someone cannot afford the service, we will scholarship, and we will go above and beyond to make sure that every kid has an opportunity to have a fun and great summer. We are bringing a number of our staff back who were furloughed, so they're excited about coming back as well. As I said, things are going to be a little bit different, but we do have training in place so that we can make sure that we're ensuring safety not only for the children but for our staff as well. So I'd be happy to answer questions, but before I do that, if it's okay if I just make a couple of quick announcements. Because we're doing a lot of things. People have heard me say this a lot, but we're actually fighting against two pandemics right now, COVID-19 and racism. And so we're partnering with people at a local, at a state, and at a national level to address some of these things. Here locally, I want to just let you know that we're partnering with the South End Children's Cafe. They provide a valuable service to children and families in our community, and we are having a food drive. It's actually this evening from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at our Guilderland YMCA, which is just off of Western Avenue on Winding Brook Drive. I know we have got the flyer here for you to see and the information, but we're hoping people can come, drop off food. It's going to a great cause. The cafe does tremendous work and can really use the support. The second thing that I really want to tell you about is that we have a town hall meeting scheduled for July 1st. It's a national initiative that is being hosted by the African American CEOs of the National YMCA. I happen to be the chair of that group. We are having a workshop, or a town hall meeting, I should say, called Unlearning Systemic Racism. Mayor Stephen Reed from Montgomery, Alabama, will be our keynote speaker, and we're going to have workshops provided by Dr. Kimberly Richards, who is the director of the Institute for the People Against Racism, and Daniel Hill, who's an author of White Lies, White Awake. They'll be doing workshops to talk about how we undo systemic racism, and then we'll have a closing keynote from Nate Burleson, who's a former wide receiver for the Detroit Lions and now an announcer on the NFL Network. So we'll get that information to you. We can hold up to 10,000 people on this town hall Zoom meeting, and we're trying to get people from all different backgrounds to be on so that we can be united. We really want to bring people together. And then the last thing that I want to share with you, and I'll be happy to answer questions about camp, and I think this is probably one of the more important things. We do have a YMCA in the city of Albany. We were planning to open it in April, but then all of this happened. It's located on New Scotland Avenue in Park South. We do hope to have it open after Labor Day, and really want everybody to know that the Y has been and still is alive and well here in the city of Albany, and we're providing a lot of services in school buildings and other locations so that our footprint reaches lots of families and children in this community. So again, we're very excited about what we're calling our Summer Cares program. We do offer scholarshiping. We've got lots of great activities for kids, and I'd be happy to take any questions if there are any.
Thank you, and we'll get to that in a second, and I imagine there's definitely going to be questions because, again, it's been like a hot topic with a lot of people that have been home and trying to come back to work is who's going to take care of their children, what's it going to look like, summer camps, and who better to talk about it than you, Dave.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for what you do day in and day out. So one of the other things I want to say is, as I always do, we have our mental health support hotline available 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 518-269-6634. Our 24-hour sexual assault hotline number, as always, 518-447-7716, and the New York State hotline and the other number. I was hoping Wanda Willingham was going to be here by now. She must have got delayed, but I've had multiple conversations and talked to her, not just on this topic, but on a variety of things. And I'll say this, there's nothing wrong with peaceful protest and what I've been seeing around this country for the most part. And it's great. You want to get your message out there, and we want change, and we want to have change. And everyone needs to be heard, not just one side, and I agree with them when they say that. They need a seat at the table, and they need to be heard, and it shouldn't just be us saying what we think they're thinking. It should be them telling us what they want, what changes they want going forward. But being a city resident my whole life, growing up in the South End, running around the streets, and seeing that there was 11 shootings last night, 11, is disturbing. We've had 25 shootings in downtown Albany since the first protest 3 weeks ago. And, this is a conversation I had with Bill Clay and with Wanda this morning, and have had multiple conversations about the shootings in her community. We need to address it. We need to work together in a partnership to make it change. It's not going to change if we don't work together in a community as one and come up with solutions to how we can move forward with this. I'm going to be reaching out to Mayor Sheen to offer any support that they need. In our mental health availability, we have that 24-hour, 7-day-a-week mobile response team that just not goes to veterans issues and opiate issues, but I'm going to make it available in the community for people, because when you have 11 shootings and 8 at one time and 3 at different other times, it's a shockwave in the community, and probably causes a lot of people PTSD and other issues. And it's not the Wild West, people. It's not the Wild West. And that's not the answers to our solutions. We need to come together in a partnership collectively, working together, understanding one another, and come out of it together as one, and to change things. So, we can't have this. I mean, to have 25 shootings in 3 weeks is just unfathomable, and the summer's just beginning. So we need to try to work together. All elected officials need to, and the governor's office needs to work with Mayor Sheen on this, and give her the support to help her get through this and come up with answers to the problems and to address it. So I was hoping Wanda was going to be here. She wanted to talk about it. But if she's available tomorrow, I'll get her here. But again, I want to say to everyone, thank you for doing the right stuff. Thank you for staying safe, being safe, and healthy out there. And again, thank you.